paint some peonies. These are the reference photos, and I've also got a Pinterest board with peonies, so you can go and look at that as well. The link will be in the description. I've got some £140 watercolour paper. It's nice and thick. I've got some water, should be clean, mine's dirty. I've got a mixing palette. My brush, I think I'm going to use this one, which is a Royal and Langnickel number 16. It's got a nice point on the end. It's a round brush. And the colours I'm going to use are Winsor & Newton Opera Rose, Quinacridone Rose, I can never say that, and this is a Daniel Smith one. I'm terrible at pronouncing the names of watercolours. Another Daniel Smith, which is Rhodonite Genuine. These are all sort of pinky colours. I've got a Winsor & Newton Cobalt Violet, which I should put over there. It's one of my favourite colours. And I think that's all for the oh no, and I've got a darker Daniel Smith one here, which is Bloodstone, which is a nice sort of dark purpley colour, and it's really greeny and nice. And I've got two greens. I've got a Mission Olive Green and Van Gogh Viridian. I'll just put a bit here. So they're the colours I'm going to use. And oops. And now I'm just going to get my inspiration up. And start off with the lightest colours first, as you always do in watercolour. The way I paint is really loose and fast and very wet into wet, wet on wet, however you like to call it. And I like to get a lot of pigment into my paint, onto my brush. So the colours are always quite vibrant, and I just start off by I call it blobs, painting the first sort of blobs of the flower. I just thought the centre of the peonies is sort of a yellow colour, and I haven't got any out. I've got a bit here, which is on my normal palette. I've kept it nice and clean for your pleasure, viewing pleasure, to make it simpler. So I will be using that, and then I just start dropping in the darker colours as I go. And it just sort of let it all wash in together. Don't be too precious about it. I might make a sort of this is totally made up flower down here. Once you've looked at flowers for a while, you sort of get a feeling for what they look like. So you don't have to. Everyone's always saying to me, can you produce the photo, or a photo that you copied, or the inspiration? And a lot of the time I just use the photos for inspiration. I don't directly copy anything, and it's sort of, a lot of the time I just do it from memory. I don't look at something whilst I'm painting. But I have been doing this a very long time, so just do what you feel is comfortable for you. And there's another bud there somehow. Excuse me. Now, I like to let the paint sort of settle into the paper a bit. Let's use this yellow. It's got bits in it, but it doesn't matter. See, I haven't waited for anything to dry, and I'm just oh yeah, cough now. And what I didn't say, you will need some paper towel. Sorry, I can't. When I paint, I do a lot of blotting. And I also do a lot of dropping in of water. As the sheen of the watercolour sort of goes, as it starts to dry, if you start dropping in colour, water I mean, you get those lovely washbacks and cauliflowers, or whatever you like to call them, and they give a really lovely effect. I'm just, some of this green, it's quite dark actually. A bit sparse with that colour. I like to blot where I think the light's sort of catching the petals. And if you use like a scrumply tissue, it gives a nice sort of effect, like the petals all what do you call it? I'm so good with words. Papery feel to the petal. And then I just keep adding in water and paint just where I think it's going to look good. Not necessarily in the places you'd think it'd go. And I'm a great believer in happy accidents. Make sort of orangey pink here. Sometimes I look at my painting that I'm doing and I think, what the hell, that just doesn't look right. But persevere, and you might surprise yourself. I always surprise myself anyway. This is like a bud here. That viridian's quite green. So I'm just adding a bit of the pink into it just to knock it back a bit. If you look at peony leaves, they're quite big and they're pointy, so look at what you're painting. Dark in. I'm not sure if this is looking any good. But hey ho. I love just letting all the colours run into each other. Don't be too precious with everything. And I just try not to make mud, really, which can be quite easily done. This is blotting paper. It's quite nice just to add the veins of the leaves with it. A bit of finger painting never goes amiss. And then, just to help myself, I thought this is a water soluble pencil. Koi Noir one. And this is the same, just pink. Let's try and get some. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.